What up, world? It's your boy Stack 5, one half all the smoke. You know I had to be with my guy, OG Byron Scott, fast break. Mandatory IB, it's been a long time, but I'm here. Stay tuned, it's gonna be a movie you don't wanna miss. Peace.
And we're back, another episode of Byron Scott's Fast Break. Kid Jake, the coach, Mr. B. Scott,
Yes,
Byron
sir.
Scott's in the
Yes,
building.
sir.
And we got somebody in the building.
Yeah.
He's from the other podcast down the street.
Which we love too. Yeah, we love all that smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, all the smoke is in the building.
Yeah, all
Steve
the
Jackson,
smoke,
Stack.
the second half.
Yeah.
The second
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
We didn't have Matt on here. We had to wait till we can get Jack in town because you know he's not local. So we had to wait till Jack came in town and said,
Only right.
"Come on in." And Jack has definitely blessed us with his presence.
Yes, sir.
I got to before you get into his career because you know he gets into the stats and all
I'm
the,
gonna
all
get
the
into
great
your
things you
career a
did.
little bit. Show you your flowers.
But I got to bring this up. Now I met Jack when he was 19 years old,
Yep.
and I just got my first head coaching job in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
And Ed Savansky, you remember that name?
I remember Ed.
Ed Savansky said, "Coach, we're gonna bring in a bunch of guys and let them have some open run. Some of the guys are guys we're gonna have at the camp, some aren't." I said, "Okay." So for 2 or 3 days, I'm looking at this open run, and one guy's just wearing their ass out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I said,
I was
"Ed,"
hungry.
I said, "Ed," I said, "Who is that?" He said, "Oh, that's Steven Jackson." I said, "Is he coming to the camp?" He said, "No, we don't have him on the camp list."
Mhm.
I said, "Why not?" Well, I don't know. He just kind of a local, just playing ball.
Yep.
I said, "Well, how old is he?" He said, 19. I said, "Well, shit, is he out of college?" Or he said, "Well, he came out of high school early
Mm-hmm.
to the NBA, and then he went overseas, and now he's back trying to get in." Jack ended up coming to camp, and day one, we had a bunch of injuries, but he was playing his ass off. He started
Man,
the season opener.
that's why I love him. I forever
He
love him.
started the season opener.
I got a question. I just want to make sure because I heard there was some beef between y'all. Y'all, we good? We good here?
Yeah, it was,
man.
you know,
Okay.
Look,
We good. I just want to make sure.
definitely. 'Cause
Before we
we-
do this podcast.
No.
We was good. We had B on our show
Yep.
because there was a lot of things that we talked about, and I didn't understand as a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't. You're
That's
not.
what
you,
happens.
you don't understand that you have to be a professional. And even I'll be honest with you, that rookie year, I didn't understand how to be a professional until I got to San Antonio. So that whole year, I was just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to figure out. Just happy to be there, though. I was just happy to be there. So that's why I forever love B. My first NBA game I started, and a lot of people can't say that.
Yeah, that's true.
About that.
But I mean, all the questions about the beef and all this shit was crazy. And me and Jack talked about it. And like I said, I took a lot of responsibility as a young coach, coaching a 19-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And with that organization at the time that I was coaching them, like I said, we had a bunch of injuries. We had
And
guys
some
that we,
old guys.
and
We
we
had
had
a
some
whole
old
bunch
guys,
of
right?
old guys.
So I had to go through the year to figure out who was going to be here and who wasn't.
Yep.
Right. So it was probably right after All-Star game where I stopped playing Jack because I had to get these other guys time and let them
Kendall
and see
came
if-
back.
Yeah, and see if
Sherman
they was going to
Douglas
be here
came
for
back.
next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I should have did as a coach is went to him and said, "Listen, Jack, this is what I'm about to do because I got to get a good idea of if these guys going to be here next year or not, or if they can play or not." And I should have went and told him that as a young coach. But I was 36, my first head coaching gig. He was 19.
And I get it now because remember
You
Jim
know,
McIlvaine?
Yeah, Jim-
all that
oh.
money he had signed for, he ended up not playing. And
Jim McIlvaine came in my office
It was
and told
a lot.
me
It
I
was
don't
a
even
lot.
like basketball. I said, "What the fuck?" bro?"
What
It was a
year
lot.
was this?
It was a
90,
lot.
96, 97?
01.
01.
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot.
Oh.
We went through a lot that year.
We did. So I'll let you get in his accolades and all the great things he's done in the
Yeah,
NBA.
but we
I'm
good
glad
now.
y'all
That's my
small.
guy. That's my guy.
I love Jack.
Yeah,
That's
love
my
you
dude,
too, B.
man.
All right, let's talk about this career of yours. Drafted in 97 by the Phoenix Suns, but your grind took you around the world before making your mark in the league. Play 14 seasons in the league, though. It's big. Spurs, Pacers, Warriors, Bobcats. They still exist? Bucks, Clippers. You won an NBA title with the Spurs in 2003. Always known for your toughness, leadership, being real no matter what, at any cost. On the court and off the court, you made a major impact. Co-host of All the Smoke podcasts. You use your voice to speak out on racial justice. You stood tall for your peeps. You never back down. You're not just a hooper, but a truth teller, champion, leader on and off the court. You're probably the most misunderstood player ever. And we could take this interview in a lot of different directions. For reals, we could. But I just would like to know, out of all the things you've done on the hardwood or off, which one means the most to you?
I think what I was able to do with the George Floyd situation. Because I was able to show a different side of me. Like, when that first happened, a lot of people thought I was just finna come out, black power, this black power. And I switched it. You know what I'm saying? I've never been that way. I was somebody that's been told that they love me from almost every race. I grew up with every race. So I've always stood for everybody and love everybody. So that was something that when it happened, I embraced it because I've always been the type of guy, I'm loyal to a fault. Those only 2 times I've been in trouble in my life was standing up for teammates. You know what I'm saying? In my life, I've never been in any trouble before that. So it was something that I enjoyed doing. I didn't know what I was doing, B. I lost probably 50 pounds the first couple of months because I wasn't eating. I was stressing, doing interviews, but I was doing it with my heart. You know, a lot of people didn't know. You know, when things like that happen, a lot of people do it for the wrong reasons. To jump out there, try to make money off people and all that. That was my real friend. That's the only person in the world I call twin. So I think it was just only the right thing for me to do.
When we go back to that incident, and you made a vow to take care of his family, and you have lived up to that to this day.
Gianna just called me on the way here.
I was about to say,
FaceTime.
his daughter, right?
Yeah.
So the connection with you and George obviously was huge. And I know you. I know Kid knows of you, but I know the type of heart. I know the type of person you are. What has kept that connection together besides the fact that you promised that you was going to make sure you saw after his family?
Just knowing that it could happen to me, you know, like, and I would want somebody to be there for mine. That's how I always think, you know. We grew up in the same type of neighborhoods, because, you know, we grew up around a lot of people. We all have same opportunities, but they don't take them as serious. And they make some mistakes, and their life go a different direction. He was an athlete too, but you know, God got different strokes for different folks, you know. And he made a lot of tough decisions too. But for me, you know, I don't look at the mistakes people make and nothing like that. This was a guy that I saw his heart. You know what I'm saying? We was good friends. He always took care of me when we was in the hood, protecting me, made sure I was straight. So I don't think it's no effort to make sure Gianna and Roxanne, you know, is straight. I just think it's just something that God put me here to do. You know, I could see if I didn't have the means to do it and it was stressing me out, it ain't putting no stress on my life. You know, God is blessing the show, blessing us with a lot of stuff going on. So I'm glad I'm able to do that, because if something happened to me, I would want somebody to step up for my kids.
You were there for George Floyd. Who's going to be there for Steven Jackson?
Good question. I hope we don't ever have to find out. You know? I hope we don't ever have to find out. But you know what? I got a strong family. Byron knows my mom. My mom is a soldier. You know what I'm saying? My mom is a soldier. But at the end of the day, like, I've done a lot of good in this world. You know what I mean? So I just feel like I've touched so many people. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the love come on his own genuinely.
That's why that I use that word misunderstood. Because people only see you like on the court, you know, the fierce competitor and, you know, all the stuff you got into. They don't see that other side of you. They didn't see that until the George Floyd thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we was able to see it. Like, you know, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because the people around, the people that I touch, they know I love you genuinely. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I never really worried about, you know, like I tell people all the time, I didn't come into the NBA trying to be Kobe and Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Where I come from, I just wanted to get in and change my life, change the structure of my life and my family. And I was able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And play with some good basketball. So, like, the way I look at things is a little different, man. You know, I treat the janitor like I treat the owners. That's just how I move.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the one black eye. As everybody always want to put, you know, when they talk about Steven Jackson.
Kind of black eye.
You know, but it was, the black eye has gotten a whole lot less. It's not as black as it used to be. It's almost normal looking now.
They put makeup on it.
You know what I'm saying? You get punched in that eye, it's black as hell. And all of a sudden it's starting to go away.
Yeah.
And this is starting to go away, and I think for good reasons, because everybody's starting to see our people that don't know you. They starting to see the type of person that you really are.
Yeah.
You know, the Malice at the Palace, which put a black eye on not only you and some of the Pacers and the Pistons, but the whole entire NBA.
Yes.
Right? To this day, and I know the answer, to this day, do you regret that ever happening?
Definitely.
Especially your part.
Definitely, for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Reggie's main reason. We had a team, B. If anybody knows basketball and seen the team we had and the way we were playing at that point, it wasn't no way we was winning the championship that year.
Yeah.
We had everything, and it was all dedicated to Reggie. You know, so we did a lot of things that we didn't want to do to be professional just to make sure that this job get done for Reggie, right? And I definitely regret it because that didn't happen too. That incident caused me a lot of All-Star games.
Yeah.
You know, I had some years where I should,
too.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, $3 million, you know,
Yeah.
and court fees and all that stuff. So, yeah, I definitely regret it. If anybody that was involved in that say they don't regret it, they lying.
Yeah.
I definitely regret it because it put a cloud over me too. But what I don't regret is being up for my teammate, right? You throw a beer in anybody's face around the world, that's assault. But it's not assault when you're dealing with a tall, black, rich black athlete. You know what I mean? So I get it, but I would rather be there for my friends and be known for that than being one of the guys walking off and one of my teammates getting stomped out in the stands. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is.
Right.
Always there for your teammate.
Yep.
I love that, man. So he talked about that. I'm going to talk about the We Believe Warriors team. Man, shocked the world, right?
Sure did.
Talk about that squad, man, and talk about that run.
Don Nelson. Shout out Don Nelson. Shout out Chris Mullin. I don't know what made them think to bring me to Golden State. Now, I knew why Indiana was trying to get rid of me. You know, all the stuff that was going on there. I got that. You know, but it was a blessing in disguise because I walked into a situation with Don Nelson with a coach that just lets you play. You know what I'm saying? He was a player's coach. He really didn't care about nothing that whole year but beating Dallas. And that summer, he had the beef with Mark Cuban that was having a lawsuit and all that. So to come into the season, he was just like, man, every time we played Dallas, that's the only game we had really real scouting reports. When we played Dallas. Everybody else, we winged it. Everybody else, we winged it. I'm telling you, Baron Davis basically coached the team. Baron Davis basically, him and Keith Smart, they basically coached the team.
Yeah.
But it was an opportunity for a whole bunch of journeymen to get together. We all knew each other. We all played hard. And some good things just happened. You know what I mean? We was able to beat Dallas in the first round, first number 1 seed going down in the first round with an 8 seed.
Yep.
And got to the second round against Utah. We did some great stuff that year, but when we got to Utah, this Don Nelson again, winging it. Got me guarding Okur.
No scouting reports.
I'm coming into, we just beat Dallas in my mind frame, and I think BD talked about this. You know me, B. It's Karolinko over there. This is my matchup. You know what I'm saying? We beat them. I'm locked into him.
And you looking forward to that one too.
We walk in the locker room for the game. He has me guarding Okur. I'm playing the point though, but I'm guarding Okur. So my mind was all messed up. And then if you know anything about guarding a guy like that, it wore me down.
Yeah.
I couldn't play point guard, bring the ball up,
and
with Karolinko hogging me after guarding him. So, you know, they ended up beating us in 6 games, but that was a special year, B, because I got a chance to play with my brothers, guys that I've been knowing my whole life, Al, BD, and all those guys, and we made history. Yeah. So it was a great experience.
Matt was on that team too, wasn't
he? Of course, that's when me and Matt. That's when I bond. That's when me and Matt bond. You know, Matt mom had passed around that time.
Yeah.
And during that time, I didn't go home. I didn't take no vacation that summer. I stayed with him the whole summer. You know, and just built that bond with him because I wanted to be there for him. Like I said, I'm always thinking. Anything can happen to me, so I want to beat up with somebody. Something happened to my mom, I want somebody to beat up. You know what I'm saying? That's how I always think. So I stayed there with him the whole summer, and that's when we became brothers.
Yeah, I actually read somewhere, and tell me if this is true, where you wouldn't even go back to the team because you needed to be there for your teammate.
Yeah, I didn't go nothing. I stayed with him the whole time. My family, everything I had planned, even some events that the team had planned for me to go speak at and make money, all that stuff was turned down because I just wanted to, you know, I've never lost my mom, and I can't imagine what I would be, you know what I'm saying, without her today. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting emotional thinking about it.
Yeah.
But to know of somebody that I love as a brother and to see him go through it, you know, it was just something that I had to do.
Yeah, let's try to delay that as long as possible.
Yeah.
I lost my mom 8 years ago. You know what I'm saying, Jack? I lost my mom.
I know.
And it, it's Yeah, let me
tough.
move on because that's a tough one.
Yes, sir.
And it's been 8 years. You know, and I see my mom every day because I got a picture of her in my house that I got to go by every day where I say good morning and good night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know she's still there with me.
Yep.
I want to go back to your mindset in 2003 when you were with the San Antonio Spurs and that championship run you guys had there. What made that team so special? Now we know the Golden State team was special, the brotherhood you guys formed, but this team was a championship caliber team. What made them even that much more special?
Well, one, it starts at the top. You got a coach who only thinks about championships. It's one standard. He treats Tim just like he treats the person that's not even playing.
Yep.
That's one thing you walk in there and respect. When you walk in the facility in the gym, everything's professional. Guys are there to work. Ain't nobody hanging out. Like, you walk in there, and that's what I said. When I got to San Antonio, I learned how to be a professional. I started off coming off the bench, but I had Steve Smith in front of me. And Tim Duncan was just showing me a lot of confidence when I get in the game, and I started averaging like 15 off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in Seattle, it's a funny story. We played in Seattle. We was getting ready to play in Seattle, and I went out with Rashard Lewis the night before, right? This before social media. So we got into a big fight in the club the night before. I'm talking about B. It was bad.
Wait a minute, that you was involved in?
Both of us.
You ever
told a club
was fighting somebody.
Yeah. We got into it with some people.
Some guys at the club. Okay. All right.
His sister had got into it with some people, and then she got into it, so we ended up getting into it, and I'm with him. So the next morning, we don't have shoot around. I'm sitting in my room. Pop calls my room, say, come up to my room. So in my mind, he didn't heard about what happened last night.
Right.
This all thing, I'm like, bro, it's over.
I'm in trouble now, yeah.
Loyal. I get upstairs, I knock on the door. Tim opens the door. So I'm like, he done told Tim. Because Tim the one that he was vouching for me all year. You know, he was telling Pop to play me.
Right.
I sit down. First thing Pop say, well, kid, we gonna start you tonight. I'm like, sweat. Oh, man, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, we're gonna start tonight. You know, you've been playing good off the bench. So the problem was, I told you my mentor was Steve Smith.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm taking his spot.
Right.
So I'm walking in the locker room. I don't know if to speak to him or, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time in this type of situation, so I don't know how.
Do you know if Pop had talked to him already and told Steve?
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure Pop told him.
Right,
Yeah, Pop.
right.
Yeah, one thing about Pop, he ain't gonna leave nothing to guess. All that.
He's straight up.
Yeah, he's straight up.
Yeah.
I walk in the locker room and I see Steve Smith, so I'm like, let me just walk by and go to my locker, right? This is why I love him to this day. What you doing? What's up, boy? Hey, you supported me? I'm gonna support you. Go ahead. There ain't no beef between me and you. Don't make them think that. Like you go out there and do your job, just like you were supporting me. You know what I'm saying? He supported me. So like that, I wasn't worried about when Tim and Pop told me I was starting, but hearing that from him, that's more. That was what I needed.
And a vet too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
God, this is the guy that was taking me to church. His wife was feeding me. Like, I was still a kid. I was 20 years old, 21 years old.
Yeah.
So he was taking care of me. So to hear that from him, I think that was more gratifying than hearing Pop and Tim tell me I'm starting. That Steve Smith approved it. You know what I mean? That mattered more to me.
All right, hang tight for a second. Prize Pick. Oh my God.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
Prize Pick, our partner. Keyword B. Scott.
That's it.
I've been deeply entrenched in the NBA playoffs.
Yes, you and me both.
And I'm posting on a regular basis, giving some of my picks.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I haven't been giving my picks. I don't want to be giving mine away. But
I'm gonna tell you how simple this is, though, Byron.
Okay.
Like, seriously, just go to the Prize Pick app. Sign in, and then use keyword B Scott.
Okay.
And when you play a $5 lineup, you instantly get $50. It's like money in the bank. And you play with that $50 and you make it grow.
So you just go to Prize Pick and play a $5 lineup. That's it. And you get $50
If you use that keyword.
If you use the keyword B Scott.
B Scott.
It's that simple?
Seriously.
And I've been doing it too. And on the playoffs, hate to tell all you guys in LA that I picked, Denver to win that series. I'm just saying, that game 7, I just got to put a lot on that one, because I just felt good about it.
You throw the Clippers under
But
the
I'm
bus.
just saying, I had picked them to win that series from the get-go, so Clipper fans, I'm sorry. But, Man, Prize Pick is the way to go if you really want to make some cash. And it's simple as Kid J just said. $5 lineup, guys, $50 guaranteed.
Instantly.
If you use the keyword, the code word, not the keyword, but the code word, B. Scott.
What we're hearing from you since the start of this show is loyalty is everything to you.
Yeah.
And you can see that very easily with you. Is there a time where loyalty bit you in the ass?
Yes.
And is there a time, and talk about when it was the best time to be loyal for somebody?
Well, I was loyal to a fault. But the year after the brawl, we had a strip club, and well, the whole team decides to go before doing training camp. We all go.
What city?
Indiana.
Indiana. Okay.
Al Harrington decides to leave early, so I'm leaving with Al to go to another spot. As we're leaving, Jamal Tinsley is coming out the club, but some guys are chasing him.
Yeah.
I've been in this situation too many times growing up, so you know what I mean.
Jack, this kind of a recurring situation going on
I've been in
there.
this situation too many times growing up. You know what I'm saying? And I know when people were running, all these people running behind. You know, I'm just thinking about guys getting stumped out, knocked out, and conscious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks prior to that, we all got our gun license legally, so I had mine on me. So when they start chasing him, I end up letting a couple shots off in the air for people to get away from him. And during that time, while we're probably scuffling or whatever, a guy gets in his car and hits me going 45 miles per hour.
What?
Knocks me in the air. I hit the ground. He knocks all my teeth out, all my gums and stuff with my lips shattered. I jumped right up because my adrenaline, you know, I was just happy because I was happy I wasn't dead because I kind of jumped with the car. He didn't take my legs from under me. And he had to turn around to get out the lot. So when he turned around, the lights hit my eyes, so it woke me up. But I'm still in shock. As he is pulling out the lot, I just snap out and come right, I grab my gun, start shooting at him. One of my teammates is shooting at him, and as I'm shooting at him, I pass out. Wake up in the police car, in handcuffs, me and Marquise Daniels. Marquise Daniels is kicking the door. I'm unconscious at this point. He's kicking the door because my mouth is shattered, blood everywhere, my teeth gone, so he's thinking I'm dying, but I'm really just, from my adrenaline, I just passed out. And they got us in handcuffs, so he kicking the door, and I come out of it, and I'm like, "Bro, what's going on? What happened?" I didn't remember nothing for a second. I come out of it. The police take us out. And they're like, "We know who y'all are." They got the cameras and all. They seen what happened. They letting us go. So during that time, I didn't snap back into street mode. I'm ready to hurt somebody then, right? I don't feel nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we know who did it. Does anybody have information of where these guys at? During that time, Jermaine O'Neal, all my teammates then pulled up to the gas station. This is the funniest part. So I'm in doughboy mode, boys and hood. I'm ready to go spray something up, right? I'm in that mode, ready to go kill something. Jermaine O'Neal stopped me. He's like, "Jack, I feel everything you're saying. I'm mad too, but I'm looking at your mouth. You have to go to the hospital." B, as soon as he said that, it just started hurting so bad. I had to have plastic surgery on my lips and my mouth for 2 hours with no anesthesia.
Ooh.
Because my lips were so swollen, if they would have added it, they would have burst. So I got Rick Carlisle holding one hand, my wife at the time holding my other hand. My teammates around, they ripping skin out my gums, debris out my gums, cutting skin out my lips, trying to stitch it up. They called the surgeon and he put his hand on my chest. After about 2 hours, he was like, "Sorry, man, I'm so sorry, Mr. Jackson, but I'm done." And I slept through MRIs, everything for like 8 hours straight after that. So I fought that for 2 hours. The worst pain ever in my life. From being loyal to a teammate.
Ouch.
Permanent scars to this day for it. You know what I mean? Knocked all my teeth out.
When you said you passed out again after you started shooting, was that car coming at you when you passed out?
When it turned around, he went out the lot.
Got you.
He was trying to get away.
Once he hit me,
yeah.
If he could have hit me and went away, he could have. But the lot, it was a dead end, so he had to turn around and get out that way.
And you still got a few more shots off.
I can't say my teammate name, but he held me down. He got some shots off too. He know who I'm talking about. We brothers for life. He held me down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he held me down.
Jack, you done had some crazy shit happen, right? I'm going to get back to basketball.
Yes,
That was basketball loyalty.
So you can't blame the Pacers for trading me to go to State after all that, right?
Hey, the Pacers said, Jack, we love you.
Enough is enough.
But goddamn, you done shot up people. You done got in the brawls. We got to let you go. We got to let you go, Jack.
Enough is enough, bro. So I get it.
And Pop said, yeah, we'll take him. You know, he can play. I got these vets here. We can hold him down. See, we got him. And speaking of Pop, because you have played with some of the best coaches, man. I mean, you had Greg Popovich, Rick Carlisle,
Byron
who is
Scott.
well, thank you, brother. But Rick Carlisle in the finals with the Pacers again. Yep. One of your coaches, Don Nelson, who you mentioned, Larry Brown, who I think is amazing.
My guy.
Doc Rivers,
Paul Silas,
that's right. Out of all these great coaches, and I know all of them have a little different things that you could pick on and be like, oh, I loved him for this. But out of all those guys, if you could pick one that you would say, man, he was my favorite to play for, who would that be?
I would have to go Don Nelson.
Yeah,
Don Nelson made me a captain.
Just a player.
He made me a captain of the team. Like he let me be me. He didn't. When I came there with all that baggage, he didn't talk about it one time. B, the first like a week after I was there, I got traded. He called me and BD to a bar to play shuffleboard. Niggas don't know what shuffleboard is. I know I didn't.
I was about to say, shit.
I didn't. You know what I'm saying?
I heard of it.
So I'm like, okay, coach. Me and BD go. We show up. He at the bar with Larry Riley with a bottle of scotch. Gets us drunk in about 45 minutes. Never play shuffleboard. I just brought you guys here to tell you guys that you're captains and walk out. So now BD gotta hop. Me and BD gotta hop in the Uber drunk and try to get home. Didn't say goodbye. I just brought you guys here to tell you guys you're captains, and left out of there. That was my guy. But Don Nelson for sure. But I would be not the person that I really am if I don't give props to Greg Popovich for giving me opportunity to be on that championship team with guys like David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Like, you don't get that opportunity often. You know, I never made it back to the finals my rest of my career. So I'm forever in Pop for that. You, B, for helping me start my first playoff game. I'm forever in debt for you to that. And Rick Carlisle for giving me my first big contract. So like you said, it's different from everybody. I got different love for everybody, but it's all the same.
So if you were a GM and you had to hire a coach to start a team out of all of those, who would it be?
It depends on the team. Yeah. It depends on the team. If I got veteran guys, older guys, I would look at guys like B and Larry Brown because they know how to deal with these older guys.
Yeah.
But if I had to deal with a younger guy, I probably would get a player that played around my time. Chauncey Billups or somebody like that. That's little tuned into the past and the now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it depends on the team.
Yeah. I always give Pop a lot of credit, man, and
Yeah,
a lot
Pop is
of I give him his flowers
Yeah.
because I think he's one of the greatest coaches we've ever had, and for the main reason that you mentioned earlier, he treated Tim Duncan no different than he treated this guy down here.
Oh my God!
And Pat Riley was a lot like that.
Yeah.
Pat Riley was always on Magic, really like Magic Coop and me. He always on our ass, yeah. And you know, when you're not in that situation anymore, you find out why. You know, being around Rouse and everything. He said, "I was on you guys' ass so much because I knew you could take it."
Yeah.
Number one, and number two, I knew you would deliver.
Yeah.
Because once I said you guys couldn't do this, or you know, this guy's kicking your ass, y'all went out and kicked his ass.
But if he going off on you and Magic,
he can go off on everybody.
Anybody got to take it. You got to take it.
And he would.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, just understanding the locker room and the people in there, and Pop was great at that as well, is understanding what to say and who to say it to. You know, because you know you're going to get a reaction. And Rouse knew our reaction was that, you know, you challenging us. You know, because he told us one series we was down 2-1 in Utah. He said, John Stockton whooping all three of y'all ass. We said, okay.
That's all
So
you
we
need
started
to
beating the shit out of John.
That's all you had.
I love John, because John was a fierce, tough.
Yeah.
That dude, man, dirty. I mean, he did all kind of shit, right? So I one of the best compliments John Stockton ever gave to me, he said, you dirty ass player. I said, you talking?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was knocking the shit. Yeah, because I'm knocking the shit out of him now. I'm just hitting him every chance I got, you know. So yeah, you know, just want to pay a shout out to my boy John Stockton. He was a bad boy.
Another thing about loyalty. This how I got Tim loyalty. This how I got Tim loyalty. So Tim liked to play paintball. This is his thing, right? I've never played that. We don't play that where I'm from. Bro, and
he was good at it.
And he one of the GOATs at it.
Really?
Yes. So he wants to go play paintball. We're in training camp. Pop tells us not to go. Of course, Tim go. First person he called me. Fuck it, Tim, I'm rolling with you. Let's go. Right? We call all the guys. We go play. So it's a game called Capture the Flag. You got his 2 teams start. You got to get to the middle and grab the flag and bring it back to your side. So Tim knew, I've been shot at for real. These ain't real bullets, so I ain't worried about, you know what I'm saying? They might break the skin or whatever, but I ain't scared. And look, the crazy part is,
real bullets coming in.
Yeah.
A little paintball shit. What that
but
supposed
look,
to do?
I got on the sweatsuit, right? I'm and a little mask. My homeboys, I should have never brought them. They got on Dickies, Chucks. I'm like, you can't play paintball like that, bro. Like you're gonna do a drive-by, right? So we doing that, right? So they sliding all over, no grip on the grass and nothing with them Chucks, right? So Tim tells me, Jack, go grab the flag mid-game. So I'm like, cool. So I drop my gun, I run, and you got to run up the steps. So this is my first time playing, so I'm not privy to a different type of mask that fog up. Tim them got all that. The rapid fire, the hair triggers, all that.
Everything.
So I got the generic shit. So my mask fogged up, running up the steps. And I missed the step.
Oh.
Slipped. Mask went up. Boom! Mouth, blood everywhere, right?
Oh,
So blood everywhere. I'm talking about lip instant swole up, right? So I put my mask back down because they still shooting. So I come down, but I'm walking, I'm thinking somebody like seen something. So I'm walking like, they just shoot me. I'm like,
so they tear your ass up
I'm talking
now.
about blood. I'm like, y'all don't see the blood. They just shoot me, right? So the next day we go to practice, my face swole, right? Tim like, fuck, what the fuck we gonna tell coach, right? I show up to practice. I'm in the weight room. Me and Tim didn't talk. So just know I'm just silent. I already know how it go. Pop coming there. Jack, what happened? Slipped at the house. Wrestling with my homeboy. I slipped at the house and hit my mouth on the door. Tim over there like, because he the captain. And Pop specifically told him, do not. You know what I'm saying? Because something like this could happen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ever since then, Tim like, oh, you my guy. I didn't even have to tell you. I said, Tim, I know how it go, bro.
Right.
So that's how I got his loyalty. And that's how I got on the court. And as you see, when I play with him, if he getting double teamed, he throwing me the ball.
Yeah, he's
Looking for you. Love that.
That's a great story. You talking about Tim, you're going, man, thank you, Jack. I got you back, right? But it also brings me to this point. Back in those days, and you know this, coaches coached.
Yeah.
And
wanted to be coached.
Yeah, and players wanted to be coached, and they wanted to be coached hard, right? When you look at today's game, a lot of these young guys, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just watching. A lot of these young guys don't want to be coached. They don't want that tough love or that hard coaching, get on you type shit. What do you think about today's game in comparison to coaches now versus coaches back then?
The reason it's like that, and a lot of kids don't want to be coached, or a lot of kids feel like they don't want to be held accountable, is because there's no more vets in the game. When I was telling y'all, when I got to the Spurs, I had Steve Smith, Danny Ferry, Kevin Willis, Steve Smith, David. I had vets there. I had guys that had been there. So it wasn't no reason for me to make the mistakes or not have answers to questions that I'm going to deal with during the season. A lot of these guys are winging it.
Yeah.
Because the coaches are scared to hold them accountable because they want to keep their job. The second player on the team wants to be continue to suck up to the star because he wants to continue to be his Robin. He don't want to go to another team. He wants to. It's a lot of stuff going on with favoritism, people doing favors, but that's always been a part of the game. But the respect level and having somebody there to guide these guys along is definitely gone. We talk about this all the time. Like, you don't see no vets on the sideline. The whole roster, 23, 25. Like, where all these guys gonna continue to make mistakes. You wonder why they're not competing? Because they're not being taught how to compete. Right? You got a team full of guys that don't compete. So who's gonna teach who how to turn it up and go to the next level, right? I was taught all that. I was taught to go sit in the hot tub before I go stretch and go warm up. You know what I'm saying? To help my all these little things. Somebody has to teach you this. You don't know these things. So not having vets in the game, I think that is really hurting the way these kids mature on and off the court, because you look at the game, it might be softer, but the IQ is missing too.
So you ain't lying.
The IQ is missing too.
It's nowhere near.
And that's why it was refreshing to see, like, Rick is an X and O guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can watch games, you can watch the Indiana Pacers play, and see stuff Rick change in the game to see how he's coaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, but old school. But he come from
old school.
Yeah.
From
Came
old
from that
coaches.
era. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just not having those veterans be, I think, and even more like to have guys like you that played, that coached.
Yeah.
Like I had that. You know what I'm saying? I played for some guys that actually played the game.
Right.
So like that's a plus too. They don't want too many, not allowing just black coaches, but they don't want too many player coaches no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because
why is that they don't want player coaches
because the players gonna give them some ism and some game that they don't want them to have. Point blank. That's just what it is.
That's just it.
That's just what it is. You got a lot of these players that has been in there. Like, put it like this. JJ's a perfect example. JJ is coaching a way that they didn't expect him to coach. It ain't as successful as they wanted it to be, but it's real, right? And that's what we respect from JJ. He's holding everybody accountable. Bron don't like it sometimes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's the old school way. That's how JJ was brought up, right? Yeah. And that's how I think they need to get back to that style because that's the only way you're going to appreciate the game the way they showed us how to appreciate it. I remember watching them play. Growing up, just sitting in front of the TV, watching how hard they play, dive for balls, willing to fight. But you don't see that now. Yeah. You see guys after games going on trips together. You get kicked out the playoffs. I got kicked out last week. Now we hanging together. That don't make sense. So the game has definitely changed, but the best part about it, they all making more money. I'm happy about that. But I want the game to get back to how it is now in the playoffs. They only play hard like this in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what, Jack? What kills me also about today's game is that they use, he plays so hard as like that's a talent. And I thought that was a prerequisite of how you're supposed to play anyway.
Already.
Every time you're on the floor, you're supposed to play as hard as you possibly can, right?
Yeah.
You see guys getting contracts now because, man, he plays with so much energy. He plays. Ain't that your job?
Yeah, it is.
Ain't that your job? To come out every single night and play with energy and play hard every single night?
That was the goal for you to play 82, right?
Yeah.
I like my goal. I'm playing all 82 this year.
Yeah, I wanted to play every game.
Now
that don't happen.
No, well, you got a little management now.
Management.
You know, whatever that is. Yeah, James, we had James on here. James said, I don't know what that is. But yeah, it's like you said, it's a different game. But like you said, ain't mad at him at all.
Not at all.
Because I always said this way back. Get as much money as you can.
It's evolved. The game is evolved.
Keep getting y'all money because if they willing to pay you $50 million a year, guess what they making?
Yeah,
as owners.
Yeah.
So keep getting y'all money.
Just love the game. Just continue to love and appreciate the game because it's gonna give it back to you.
That's right. It's gonna give it back to you tenfold.
Yep. So I'm a stats guy. He said that a little bit earlier, and I went through some of your stats, and one thing stood out to me: revenge games. Every time you got traded. And you played the team you got traded from, you seem to have career nights.
He whooped their ass.
Indiana.
Talk about it. Because you know I'm right.
Yes. Hey, you know what? A friend of mine brought that up to me probably like a year ago.
Okay.
He said something like this, like, bro, you realize the games, some of your biggest games are when you went back and played the team that just traded you? And I never thought of it. But you go into that game wanting to have that game. It might not be the way you want it, but you want to go in there. You're going to go in there jacking.
Giving it.
Your whole points of going in, man, you shouldn't have traded me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indiana paid for it. Charlotte paid for it. And Golden State. I punished all of them my first time back. I hit a game winner in Golden State my first time back off the backboard. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. That felt good too. That's some of the best. That's some of the best feeling in the world. Go back and quiet the team that just traded you. Yeah, that felt good. That felt good. That felt good.
Jack, let me ask you this because I know you had an opportunity to play against both of these guys, and I know how much respect you have for them, and I know how much respect they have for you and the way you defended. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. How was it guarding those two guys right there? And if it was any difference. What was it? Because I know there's a lot of similarities when you guard those guys, but if there was any difference, what was it?
The difference was I was in awe when I was guarding Mike. I've been knowing Kobe my whole life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I didn't admire Jordan. I admired Kobe because he was the same age as me, and the dedication that he put as a teenager, I didn't think was real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was just so different. McDonald's, we all at the McDonald's game. All there for the same reasons.
You were the leader scorer of that game.
I should have won MVP that game.
Yeah.
We going to McDonald's after practice. I see y'all I'm not eating that shit. This is in high school. Everybody eat McDonald's in high school. Everybody. Some still eat it to this day. I don't, but everybody's eating McDonald's in high school. The Big Mac and 2 fries and strawberry shake, apple pie. Everybody had that. Not Kobe Bean Bryant.
Not him, huh?
No, so like, and he had a kill list at 13 of Tim Thomas, all the type of people in our class that he wanted to kill. I wasn't thinking like that at 13, 14, 15 years old. You know what I'm saying? I'm chasing girls. You know what I'm saying? Trying to roll me a joint or something. He is thinking like that, so I admired him. So the difference is, like, Jordan is the top. You know what I'm saying? But this is the closest thing to Mike that, and I've seen this guy set out to be great and actually do it. When we all was the same age, and a lot of us didn't get to that point. We all thought we can go to the NBA and do this. He actually did it. Yeah. So I was in awe of Jordan, but I admired Kobe because that's like my brother.
Yeah. I tell you, Jack, I was with Kobe his rookie year, and I was his big brother, mentor, whatever you want to call it. We sit on the bus together.
He talked about it.
We would sit on the bench together, and I got an opportunity to watch him and work with him. Mm-hmm. And I remember asking him, I said, how good you want to be in this league? So I want to be one of the greatest ever. And like you said, I knew his work ethic and everything. And I told myself, I said, this kid's going to be unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But I didn't see 17, 18 All-Star appearances. I didn't see 5 championships. I didn't
without
see
Shaq.
2 without Shaq.
And let's talk about those teams that
wasn't nowhere near like a dominant team either, right? The 2 that he led without Shaq.
Yeah.
I mean, Powell was a bad boy and all, but still, you know what I'm saying?
Look what else was around him.
And
I was there.
And when he left, when he retired, and I was, coaching the Lakers, which I had a bird's eye view his last 2 years. Yeah. He left 3rd leading scorer in NBA history. I was like, and I said, Showboat. This was my, I was calling him Showboat. I said, Showboat. I knew you was going to be great, but I said, man, not were you just not great. You were an icon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You surpassed the shit that I thought that you was going to be able to accomplish.
My brother's second best ever to touch the ball in my mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of today's games, a lot of these players, they get flack for not paying homage to the past, players that came up in the game. Is there a player that you would want to run with from back in the day? Because you're a loyalty guy. So is there a player that, God, I wish I could just have played with him from back in the day, before your era?
I wish I could say these words and be like, and it really was, Buck, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
Magic, bro. It's a guy named Lee Harmison that would start calling me Lil Magic at 5 years old.
Really?
Yes. And that was my nickname growing up, Lil Magic. So if I could ever play with somebody and hang out with somebody, it would definitely be Magic Johnson. Not even close.
Wow.
Not even
great.
Close.
Wow.
Not even close.
And Jack, I was lucky. I got that. Cause
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because remember, I got drafted by the Clippers.
Yeah.
And I got traded to the Lakers
right on the other side.
2 games before the regular season was about to start. So I got traded during preseason.
Yeah.
So I had basically 4 or 5 days to get prepared for the start of the season, right?
Yeah.
But playing alongside of that dude, dog.
I know how easy it was,
bro. Run the floor. Just make sure you're watching, because you might not see him looking at you. Here come the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He saw the game in frames. It was amazing.
You know a winner when you see one.
Oh my God,
he a winner, man.
First day of practice, I was like, oh shit. Kind of like you said, you were in awe of MJ.
Yeah.
I get traded. I'm in my first practice. He comes in and everything. I'm going, oh shit. Kareem. Oh damn. You know what I mean? I was like, wow. I'm in the NBA with Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And James was the only one, because James was in his second year. He came up to me, what's up, B? I was like, oh, hey, James, how you doing? He was like, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. But I was like this.
I know you was.
Yeah.
I would have been the same way.
I'm a kid from the hood. I was like, shit.
You at home, too.
I'm at home. So you saying Magic, believe me, bro. Yeah. That and would give you, and you talk about another person that's loyal and give you the shirt off his back.
Oh, man, I can tell.
All he want to do is win. He don't give a damn how it gets done. He just want to win.
All right, Jack.
Man. Yes, sir.
So you're known for your physicality on the court. I want you to rank your top 5 toughest players of all time.
Toughest.
That
I played against?
You could be played against as well. Yep.
Ron Artest.
Better known as
Metal World Peace.
Yeah, just so you know, we might have some fans out there that don't know.
Was that the Artest days or the Metal World Peace days?
This was definitely the Artest days.
Yeah.
Artest days. So toughest can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tough as in play, just a tough player. Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy used to give me problems. Well, he used to go at it, but he was a tough guard. Bonzi Wells.
Another good one.
We were two post-up guards.
Yeah.
So we used to wrestle. That's one of my closest friends. Like we curse each other out, talk about each other. He was built like a big old baby, like a grown man with baby fat. That's what he was, a grown man with baby fat. But he was solid. Yeah, he was solid though. And post game was unreal.
Yeah.
Tough to guard.
Yes.
Tough to guard.
Love Bonzi.
Another guy who I just love playing against was Karan Butler.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Karan Butler. And my last, I would have to say he was the two. Well, I would say both of these guys. I'll go to Jamal Mashburn and Big Dog. I was young.
You know what?
I was young.
Yeah.
I was young, and I learned a lot from them. You know, because I went in and talking trash and got humbled.
Yeah.
I got humbled.
quick.
Jamal Mashburn was that.
Oh,
Yeah.
my-
He was that.
Jamal Mashburn was nice.
You know, but I was feeling myself too. But I got humbled. I got humbled by Jamal Mashburn and Big Dog. Two pure scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete scores.
So Big Dog, y'all, just in case y'all don't know who Big Dog is,
Yeah.
Glenn Robertson. Right?
That
That's what
first
we talking
hundo.
about. Yeah. Man, he give you numbers too.
Big Dog. Shout out Big Dog
Yes,
and
sir.
Mashburn. They both doing good. Mashburn is doing super well in business.
Yeah,
and
business-wise.
Big Dog is doing well as well. So shout out to both of them.
Yeah, I saw Mash at a college game because his son was playing, I think, in New Mexico or something like that. And I was there with Coop, whose son was playing at the time with Pepperdine.
Okay.
So we got a chance to see Jamal and holler at him and talk to him for a little while. Great brothers doing well.
Have you talked to Coop recently?
Yeah.
Man, Coop got a chance to get them a championship this year. You see that team they got together in Big Three?
kinda stopped.
Beasley and Lance.
He kinda
Mario
stacked.
Chalmers. I'm like, come on, man. God damn. I got to. My team is solid.
But I was about to say, Jack team good too now.
We hang out. We fighting to win a championship every year.
Yeah.
Earl Clark, Isaiah Briscoe, Isaiah Austin, Frank Nitty, and DeJuan Summers. Yeah, I pick guys that play hard, that play all year round.
See, like I said, play hard.
Yeah,
See,
they
that's what I'm
dogs.
talking-
They dogs. If we lose and we play hard, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it.
So, Jack, you've lived a pretty good life.
Blessed.
You know,
yes.
been blessed, being able to play in the NBA for 14 years, things that you're doing outside of basketball. All the smoke is off the chain. One of the
Yes,
best
it
podcasts
is.
out
Thank
there.
you.
We love
Yes,
that
it
about
is.
y'all.
Thank
100.
You know, what's next? I mean, I know you got other things that you're looking at that you're doing because I know Matt has as well. So what's next? What's next for Steven Jackson? What
Well-
other things are you pursuing right now?
Well, you know, I'm definitely blessed, and I can't complain about nothing. But you know, you want to continue to evolve and grow. We've inherited Showtime Boxing, and when we was with Showtime, I got into the boxing space with commentating, doing the weigh-ins and stuff like that. So now we have Showtime Boxing.
fire.
It's all the smoke fight.
All right.
So we own that show.
fire.
Yeah. So now I just want to continue to build that boxing space with Brian Daly, and because I'm a big fight fan.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to continue to start doing the weigh-ins, and hopefully one day all the smoke fight we put on our own fight. So that's the goal. I want to
I
get
like
the boxing
that.
space.
I like that.
That's
I
love.
heard that.
I'm gonna take you back to your playing days. In your playing days, tell us a story that nobody knows but needs to be told.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that
that's
right
the
there.
one you're thinking of.
Yeah, that
One right there.
That needs to be told. Ooh. Story that needs to be told. Let's see. Playing for San Antonio. Bonzi Wells.
Yeah.
Playing Portland. He calls me. You know, we bud brothers. You know, we do our little smoking, whatever. So I'm the type of guy, I really don't hang with people, especially when we're about to play against them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but Bonzi's different. Just one person from the team. Cool.
Yeah.
It ain't the whole team. So I tell him, you know, come on, pull up. Raise my garage up. It's the whole team.
What?
1 through 12. Everybody got their own tree. They all in my house. I'm sitting there like, Bonzi, like, So, am I playing with y'all tomorrow? Like I'm on y'all team. Like I got the whole team in there. We just fellowshipping, having a good time. The next day, I go to the game, right? Like I'm speaking to everybody, you know. Bonzi come in. I'm like, Bonzi, what's up? Like, oh, no, man, I just don't feel too good. I'm like, what you talking about? I just don't feel too good. I'm like, all right, cool. He comes up. We get ready to jump ball. Bonzi is loaded still.
Still.
I was fried.
From the night before.
Fried, right? So, I got the picture on my page. I posted it. My eyes and his eyes are gone. So I tell, I know Bonzi. Bonzi like to smoke for the game sometimes. So I look at him like, oh, it's going to be all bad. So the first 2 quarters, I'm guarding Bonzi. He can't hit the rim. I'm talking about brick, air ball, just second half. About 15, 20 in the second half went crazy on me. I'm like, so we coming down. So I'm like, oh, you hiding came down now. Yeah, I'm good now. But I'm cool with one person. The whole team showed up, bro.
Is this when he was in Portland?
Yeah. He was in Portland.
Yeah.
The whole team showed up to my house.
Wow. I love Bonzi.
That's my guy. That's my guy,
coach
man.
Bonzi in New Orleans.
He coaching at Georgia Tech now with Damon,
Is
man.
he?
Yeah, shout out Bonzi, man.
Yeah, Bonzi, good people. Shout out to Bonzi.
That's my guy, man.
Now, listen, you have a unique relationship back in the day with Kobe Bean Bryant,
yes,
as we both have. Almost all our guests that we've had on, we asked them if they've had any type of relationship with Kobe or interaction, give us a Kobe story. Well, we know that you probably have a pretty good Kobe story back in the day when y'all was teenagers, or your first few years in the league, or the later part of you guys' year in the league, because I know you guarded him all the time as well. Y'all would go at it. You got a Kobe story for us?
Yeah, they used to let him cheat. Bro, so we playing against them in the playoffs, and
what squad were you with?
Spurs,
okay.
And I'm guarding Kobe, and I drive to the basket or something, and I kind of get fouled, and they didn't call it or whatever, so I'm talking to the referee on the way back, and I'm talking to the referee when Kobe's coming up. He was like, oh, just stop talking, you better pay attention. Kobe just pulls up, 3. He got you. So I'm like,
this is the ref?
The ref. He got you, right? So I'm like, oh, no. So I get the ball, I'm turned, face up, post up. I shoot B. This is what Kobe do. Referee right there on the baseline. No call. So I'm losing it now. I was hothead. So I'm losing on the ref now. I'm talking to the ref, running back, and just pop. So I'm talking to the ref right across half court. Kobe launched one. Cash. So now I'm coming out the game because I'm arguing with him. So I'm trying to argue with the ref. It was just all bad. It was all because Kobe was fouling and they wouldn't call it. They was just letting him foul, bro. Right in front of the ref, just hit my arm. Blatant. I got another one. I was playing in Milwaukee. I was in Milwaukee, but I wasn't playing. This one I was doing my rap stuff. I didn't like Scott Skiles. I didn't get along with him. Okay. I didn't get along with him. So, I told him, just let me stay home till y'all can trade me back to San Antonio for the second time. So
hold on. It seemed like a lot of people didn't get along with Scott Skiles.
He got a small man complex. That's what it is. That's what it is. Like he just walk around like nobody walks around mad and just all day long. Like that's the softest people to me. You know what I'm saying? They walk around just trying to look tough and mad. And he one of them people, and nobody buys it. Yeah. Right? So I was at home, right, and we played the Lakers. I got suspended that game. I couldn't play. So I'm sitting at home like, man, I'm bored. Just really want to get out. Matt calls me. Man, like, bro, me and Kobe finna go. I say, who? Man, Kobe finna, go hang out. I'm like, yeah, right, bro. Because, Matt is a joker. I don't know if y'all know. Matt is a full-time comedian. If y'all know, every show we got, he joking about bacon because, I don't eat bacon. Like, he's never serious. So I'm like, yeah, right, bro. Kobe ain't going. I was like, bro, I'm telling you, man, Kobe. I get to the club. I've never seen this side of Bean. Bean got him a drink in his hand. Bean, you know what I'm saying? He talking to his teammates. But the crazy part is, he talking to his teammates in the middle of the club about the game. That's one thing about him. He gonna be happy, but he's talking about basketball. You know what I'm saying?
No girls,
it wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that. They're in the middle of the thing talking about basketball. But it was just good to see him socialize with that because you'll never see Kobe out nowhere like that. This was in 2012.
Yeah,
2012. Yep. Yeah, when Matt was back on the team, but I think Matt was the one that start getting him to hang out and come back to himself.
Yeah.
Yep. He was going through a lot at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you talk about Matt. You and Matt started All the Smoke podcast, very successful podcast, basketball related. What has been the most eye-opening part of being on the other side as an interviewer?
You can't make everybody happy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I think that's everybody. You learn how people respect what you say when you get a podcast and you know what I'm saying? You speaking your opinion and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
You learn that people really respect what you say, good or bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to deal with that because your intentions is not to offend anyone.
Right.
But everybody has an opinion. You know, everybody has their own experiences. So I think the toughest part is to be able to speak my opinion and not try to demean people because you have so many platforms today that feel like they have to demean people to get ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah.
never stood like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't respect that. You know what I mean? So it's just, you got to learn how to be able to give your opinion and not belittle people.
Yeah. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that because I think that's
Yeah.
how we are as well. You know,
Yeah.
we want to give our opinion, but we also want to make sure that we're very respectful to
Yep.
everybody and all the guests that we have. But then the other part, like you said, Jack, I don't give a shit.
At
What
all.
most people-
I know.
I mean, you know, because I'm at that age. Jack, I'm at that age where you know what? Look, if you don't like me, that's cool.
That's
It's all-
what
you
it
know
is.
What I mean?
But you ain't coming with no
But
disrespect
I'm not,
either.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not going
You
to
know what I'm
disrespect
saying?
nobody that don't disrespect me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But we also at that age, or at least I am, where I love doing this because I get to talk to my people.
Yep.
And I get to talk to my boys, people that I love being around.
Yep.
And it's not an interview, it's a conversation. We just
Yeah.
gonna have a good
Yeah,
time
yeah. Just
talking
having a
about
good
some of
time.
the things that we've done and some of the things that you've done.
Yep.
You know, the great career that you've had as a basketball player. Now you've gone into the media space as we have as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And having a great career as that in that as well. So I'm just at the point where, you know what, I hope you love what we're doing. We're just trying to bring entertainment, but I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
I'm
It's
at that
enough for
age.
all
You know
of
what
us
I'm
out
saying?
here,
Yeah,
too.
I'm at that age.
I just be
And
happy
like
to
you
see my
said-
people doing
Right,
good.
and like you said, we don't throw shade at other podcasts because I think y'all got the best podcast. I love All the Smoke. 'Cause
Thank
I be
you, man. I
watching this
appreciate
shit.
it.
I watched Cheryl the other day. I watched Cynthia the
Yeah,
other day. You know what I
Cynthia
mean?
was good. Cynthia
I
was
watched
good.
Reg and how he got emotional and everything. And I was like, oh shit, Reg, come on, man. You know. Because I was there with Reg. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, B did it. I was like, oh man. So I love what y'all do and I love the space that we all in. And like you
Yeah.
said, there's enough for everybody to eat. You
Definitely
know?
enough
So
for
just got to
everybody.
enjoy it.
Yep. And support each other.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of podcasts out there now
Yep.
that are in that space. And you just said, you know, there's enough for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Rank your top 5 podcasts that you listen to.
Okay. Let's see. Listen to you guys.
Okay.
Fast break.
That's one. Fast break number 1.
Let's go Club 520.
Mm-hmm.
Club
That's my
520.
guys. Jeff
Mhm,
Teague.
mhm.
Of course, people always say we are the trendsetters, but we always pay homage to the original trendsetters, knuckleheads, Darius Miles and Quentin Richardson.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched their show. I also watch. Let's see. I
Two
watch Draymond and Baron Davis.
Yeah,
I
Draymond.
love Draymond
Mhm.
and BD. And let's see, one more. Iman Shumpert. I watch his a lot as well.
Who are the top 3 guests you've had on your show? And who are the top 3 that you need on your show?
Top 3 we've had. I'll go Will Smith,
Will Smith.
Jada Pickett. For me,
Were they together?
no, she came the day her book came out. And
Uh-huh.
his show was the first show after the slap. So they showed us.
I was about to say that must have been perfect then.
They both pulled up in their prime moments for us. We
Wow.
forever. They didn't have
Right
to.
after
They
the
called
slap?
us.
Right after the
His
slap.
first time speaking after the slap and her first time speaking after all the stuff
Oh,
went on
that-
in her book.
All that
So that was a
craziness.
blessing. That was a blessing. And we had when we did Will Smith the day before, he gave us a screening of Emancipation.
Oh,
We was able to see that,
Yeah.
and that was deep, and we was able to talk about it the next day. So that was.
Wow.
And I'll go Kevin Hart too.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I laughed so hard at that show. I laughed so hard being on that one. I think that was just special. And he's the biggest star in the world. So
Yeah,
for him to
Kevin.
pull up to the show and verbally say, "I'm not here because I know you guys. I'm here because I'm a fan of the show." Like to reiterate, he ain't
Yeah.
doing us a favor. Like
Right,
that.
right.
That meant everything.
That's
Again,
dope.
like I said, everybody to come up, man. Y'all
That's
show
dope.
is off the chain. Okay,
Yeah.
so we got those 3. So 3 that you guys are trying to get, or that you would just love to have, because they're gonna come sooner or later. But what 3?
Black Jesus,
Uh-huh.
Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
Obama,
Mm.
And for me, I probably would do one more. I probably would do Willie Nelson
Oh,
Ah, why Willie Nelson?
because I'm a smoker. You know what I mean? So I'm and
Very simple.
But he's one of the legendary smokers.
Yeah.
You know, like when you talk about pot smoke, you talking about Willie Nelson. You know, those type of guys. You know,
Cheech and
Cheech and
Chong.
Chong. We had them on the show and we smoked with them already. So that's my bucket. They on my bucket. They on my bucket list already. Yeah, that's already checked off. Willie Nelson. I think I've been able to hang with Willie Nelson and just pick his brain and smoke one with him. I think that would be dope.
That's
All right.
great. I still want to see y'all get out because I would love this podcast. Y'all talking to Larry Bird.
That's who gave me the phone call
Mm.
when I was the Pacers.
Went to
Mhm.
Indiana?
I'm sitting on the block with the homies. I see his 317 number, so I know because I talked to Rick. I know the phone call was coming, but I didn't know when. And I thought it was gonna be Rick or Mike Brown.
Right.
Mike Brown was my coach in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But now he's in Indiana. That's who got me there. So, but oh yeah, you doing this? This is Larry Bird. I say, who? Larry Bird. Larry Bird. you know what all the homies did. It's Larry Bird. Put him on speakerphone. Yeah, I just want to welcome you to the Pacers. And so he gave that my first big contract and phone call was from Larry Bird. I got some
He was
I
the
got some
GM
stories,
at the time,
man.
right?
Yeah.
He was a GM, bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
I
dope.
love Larry.
Yes.
man.
Shout out
Larry
Larry
Legend.
Bird, man.
Larry
I remember
Legend.
that phone call.
Shout out to
forever.
Larry Legend. That's
Yes,
for sure.
sir.
Did you get a chance to hear him shit talk? Because everybody says he's legendary shit
Never
talker.
heard so many stories from Sean Kemp and so many other players about how he talked, but I believe it.
No, it's
I
true.
believe because I study basketball, so I've watched Larry Bird games, and you can see him. You don't have to read his lips, but you
Yeah.
know he talking that
Yeah.
ism, and he giving it to you. Yeah.
That's how him and Dr. J got into that fight because he was telling Dr. J, he said, your old ass need to retire. And then ran up on him and grabbed him, and Doc said, pow!
Caught it one time. I mean,
That's how they got into it.
when you got a white guy telling the brothers on the other team, man, don't let that white boy go at me.
Yeah, for
And he
real.
white,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
let you know right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was him. That was straight Larry. He said that was disrespectful.
Yeah.
To have a white guy guard him. I was like, you do know you white,
White.
right? He said, it's
And he
disrespectful to have a white guy guard me. I said, but you're white. Yeah.
Top 10 all time, man. I don't
He
care what
wanted
nobody
brothers
say.
guarding him. He said, that's when you had a brother guard him, he said, okay, now you're showing me respect.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Jordan. He's coming to the media.
Wow.
Shocker, no one saw this coming.
Yeah.
He's coming to NBC as the NBA moves over to NBC. What's your thought about that?
Well,
Why?
they definitely gonna cater to him. I mean, as you should. You know, I don't think he's gonna be on a lot. You know, I think he's gonna pop in there. But I think his whole reason for coming out and speaking is so people can respect this generation and the guys coming to like LeBron and all these guys. Because I think if he come out and say these guys are great, then the world will say to be like, okay, MJ saying it, then we got to accept it. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, we don't need MJ to say LeBron is great.
Right.
But it'll be good to hear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we all know LeBron great, but people put them together and try to put them against each
Right.
other so much.
Right.
On the outside looking in, I think it's good for him to come up to the mic and talk about these guys, Steph and all these guys, and to hear from him say that they're great and basketball is great for the game because the game is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
Ratings, none of that.
Yeah, I'm about to say ratings.
None of that.
Ratings are proving
So
that.
who do you need to bring the ratings and all that back?
Black Jesus.
Bring him back down
You bring Black Jesus
and
to
sit
the
him here
mic.
for a season.
Yeah.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I agree with you, Jack, as far as I don't think he's going to be on a lot. But
Yep.
like you said, the times that he's going to be on, his presence is so big.
Yeah.
You know, and his word's going to be like the gospel. You know,
Yes.
whatever he say, everybody's going to be like, okay, MJ said he the best. The one thing we do know with MJ, he will
would
never
never
say
say
that
that.
he's the greatest player of all. He will never say he's the greatest. And I understand why, because like he said, you know, generations, you know, I can't say I played against this guy, and say I'm better than him, you know, because it's different times, different eras, you
Yep.
know, and you got to respect that about MJ, you
Yep.
know, but to get his take on today's game and
Yep.
today's players, this shit gonna be
Just imagine
it's gonna be a trip. This
Just
is gonna be
imagine
fun.
doing a game, a LeBron game, and this come out of MJ mouth. Yeah, that's a play I could have never made. You know how that's finna go viral?
Right.
just stuff like that the
Oh,
game needs to
man.
hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what
Yeah.
he gonna bring.
Jack, I got a question for you because this is the question we hit Max with.
Yeah, this is what I've been waiting on.
Because
because for him to look like that,
So yeah,
I got to know what this
and
question
Max was
is.
about to spill the beans. I was like, Max, come on, dog,
yeah,
shut
come on,
up.
let's
dog.
get it. Let's get it.
So, all the smoke
Yep.
with you and Matt,
Mm-hmm.
who started this thing, and y'all brought Mad Max on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been great watching all three of y'all, because I love all three of y'all. If all three of y'all was on the same team,
Oh, Lord.
number one, would y'all be able to get through games without a fight or without a technical or without all y'all getting kicked out? I just want to know.
One, no team has had that many insane people on. So I don't think no team will ever sign all three of us. Two, no. One of us will get kicked out every game. One of us will be a no-show. That's because we hung over from the night before. And one of us, we'll have one on the court every night. One out of the three. One gonna be hungover and one gonna be suspended every night. That would not work because we all protectors.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
If all three of y'all on the court at the same time, no shit better happen.
Yeah,
all three of y'all gonna be on somebody's ass. That's like having three
Draymonds on the court.
Yeah,
like,
y'all gonna be somebody's ass.
We all protectors, so that wouldn't work. But like Pop say, each championship team needs one guy like that. At least one. Yeah. At least one. Not three.
Has to have one.
Not three. Malice in the Palace happens when you have three.
Now you were
we
that
had
player.
like 6 on our team and go Indiana. That's what happens, me.
Yeah, you're right.
Malice in the Palace happens when you do that.
You had 6 on the team.
Yeah, we had 6 in Malice in the Palace, boy, in Indiana.
Yeah.
That's
so
what
you
happens.
were the player for your championship run. Who was that player for your championship runs?
Our championship runs, it was a little different because
which one?
Rambo was kind of, right. Which one out of the 3 or 4?
Yeah, which one?
Because Rambo was kind of that guy as well.
Randus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the guys who were like the shit starters was me, Magic, and Coop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like to protect anybody that got into some shit, we were always right there, us 3.
Yeah.
We were always in the mix.
Yeah.
So it is as great as Rambo was of just, doing all the dirty shit.
Yeah.
But if shit broke out, Jack, it was always me, Coop, and Buck right there.
I can see that.
Always.
I remember Rambo clothesline and people. He set some hard fouls too. He used to set the tone though. That's what I liked about Kurt Rambo. He setting the tone.
Listen, we had practice one day, and Rouse said we're gonna switch the teams up. So I'm on the team against Rambo, and I'm trying to run around these screens, and he knocking the shit out of me with these screens. Right? He hits me with one. I say, Rambo, that's an illegal screen. Don't do that shit again. And he just looked at me. He don't even say nothing. He don't even say nothing. We keep going. We keep playing. Hit me. And I said, now I don't even call him Rambo. Now we all have a person's first name. I was like, Kurt.
Kurt, yeah.
Dog, I'm serious. Don't do that shit again. He didn't say shit. Just looked at me. Just stared at me. The third one he hit me with, I said, hey, Rambo, I'm going to knock your ass out. You do that again. They do that shit again. He said, those are the same screens I set for you in the game. I went, okay, dog, go ahead.
Yeah.
Humble him real quick.
I was like, okay, go ahead and keep setting them type of screens.
You got a point there.
Yeah, because he was getting me open. So I was like, okay, you're right. My bad.
You got a point there.
Rambo, we need you on the
We
show
love you,
next.
Rambo.
Yeah.
Shout out, Kurt.
That's a real one.
Rambo.
That's a
Yeah,
real
we'll
one
get-
for sure. All right, let's do some rapid fire.
Let's
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
So
Yes, sir.
quick answers. You can elaborate if you want. All right. Here we go. Realest player you ever shared a locker room with?
Jermaine O'Neal. I answered Jermaine O'Neal.
Bad boy.
Yeah.
Bad boy.
Solid brothers.
Yeah.
Bad boy. Second question. Best coach you ever played for and the worst?
Best coach is Don Nelson. The worst might be Terry Stotts. In Atlanta.
I was going to say, is it Terry? I was thinking Terry, but I was also thinking Scott Skiles. I was like, which one?
I ain't play for Scott. I wouldn't even show up for him.
So you said Terry. Okay,
Terry Stotts, yes. Terry Stotts was bad in Atlanta, man. He was bad.
All right.
Good guy, but nah.
Hardest punch you ever threw or took on the court?
Never took a punch on the court. Never been in a fight in the NBA game. A lot of people don't even know that, bro. Never been in a fight in the game.
Never been in a fight in a game.
I wish I could say that.
The hardest punch I've ever thrown was probably in the 7th grade. Yeah, I hit a dude with in the eye with a lock. Caught him clean.
Yeah.
Mama, it's one of them where I hit him, his mama, He tell his mama, they come to my house and tell my mama that they finna put me on probation. Oh, yeah, that type of situation. He stayed right behind me. Kid, mama, shout out Melvin, man. We cool with him. When I was in middle school, man, I was just a nuisance, man. I was a nuisance, man.
His eye done goes down by now anyway, right? She good, right?
That shit went down in a couple weeks.
Melvin at home right now going, fucking Jack.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Hit me with that damn block 30 years ago, fucking Jack.
I'm gonna see Melvin this weekend too, right?
Shout out, Melvin.
Yeah, shout out Melvin, man. I might see you at the class reunion, man.
All right, Jack. Most underrated hooper you ever saw?
Most underrated hooper. I would have to go underrated. Well, he did make an All-Star game, so I would say, underrated. Manu Ginobili. I was gonna say Gerald Wallace, but he made an All-Star game. But Manu Ginobili, he made an All-Star game too. But
Manu was
underrated. That's one of my favorite backcourt mates.
Man, that dude was
how hard he played. Not only was his IQ was high, but like he's certain experiences, and he said some things to me that made me love him even more. Like after we won the Western Conference Finals, the reason we won that Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, there you go.
Before you get to the finals.
Yeah.
They had Tim locked up. Nobody else wasn't doing nothing. And I was leading the team in scoring. He came to me after that when they was interviewing Steve Kerr, because Steve Kerr came in at the end and hit those 4 threes. Mm-hmm. But I carried us the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I was young. I was bothered by that. But he came back to me in the back and said, bro, you deserve that. That meant the world to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like little stuff like that is the reason why I really rock with him.
Yeah.
When he came off those screens,
stuff like that mean a lot, man. Stuff like that mean a lot as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I tell you what, when we played San Antonio in the finals, when I was with Jersey, and we played you guys, I remember telling Lucius Harris, I was like, listen, your matchup is against Manu.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you don't match his effort and play as hard as he do, he will embarrass you.
Mm-hmm.
And he fucking embarrassed him.
I remember one play you went crazy. RJ just going through the motions. And you talk about how hard. And he went to grab the ball and Gino came and stole it and went dunked it. Boy, B went crazy on him. He called a timeout. He started going in on him because it was just a lazy play.
It was a lazy play.
It's the finals, bro. It shouldn't be a lazy play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not at that time.
Yeah.
Can't handle lazy plays then. Shit. All right, it's your turn. It's your turn.
Okay.
KJ.
One rapper you would want to swap lives with for 1 week.
One rapper I would want to swap lives with for 1 week.
Yeah.
Oh. Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Beyonce. I don't even need a week.
He said he's swapping with Jay-Z for a week. That means I'm married to Beyonce for 1 week.
I don't even need a week. Just give me a day or two. Yeah, man. She, that's Queen B, man.
Hey, kid, it's the way Jack said that shit. He said, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Beyonce.
Locked in. Third Lord.
I'm thinking about the damn rap and everything. He's like, no, he's like Beyonce.
Nah, Beyonce, man. Off the top.
All right.
Off the top.
All right.
All right.
But game 7, you need a bucket. You got 2 players. Which one of these 2 you going to give it to? MJ or Kobe?
I'm giving it to Kobe because just off the simple fact that I know he going to get us a good shot. I know it. And I know we're going to get an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might get double M, and we've seen M get doubled and make the right pass. If Kobe get the ball, we going to get a shot up. I don't care if it might be over 4 or 5 people, and the odds of him making it than the other 4 people on the court is totally different.
Greater.
So I'm going with Kobe, off the top.
So he has made some unbelievable shots that most players should not be hitting as game winners.
Off the backboard, top of the key, Christmas against D-Wade.
Against D-Wade.
Hell yeah.
And
off the glass.
D-Wade was very mad that he hit that shot.
I know he was hot.
Yeah, very, very mad.
Too. You know, he was trying to block it too.
D-Wade walked up to him. I saw this happen right after the game. He's like, if it was any other motherfucker that would have hit that shot, I would have went ballistics.
What makes you go so hard? Because you go hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so does Matt.
Yeah. Well, I just know what he meant to the game of basketball, how good he was as a person. I know how good he was as a father. And And I just know a lot of us are measured off what we gave to the game and how good a basketball player we are. And if you're measuring us off that and not knowing us personally, then he should be at the top. You know what I mean? If you want to measure us personally, everybody have their own different feelings and how they feel about us personally. And like I say, none of us really give a fuck. But when you talk about basketball and you talk about measuring a person as far as what you've seen from him and his craft, he's at the top.
Yeah.
And you might not hear from a lot of people when you hear from your peers. You know, somebody, I think Dan Patrick asked me, do you think you belong in the Hall of Fame? I said, no. I got better stats than some people in the Hall of Fame. But I don't think, but I am in the Real Brother Hall of Fame, and that mean my peers respect you, the people that actually did it. So that's why I ride for Kobe, because he's not here to speak for himself, and you know, people like to try to kill your character when you pass. That's one person that did everything right on the court, was one of the best. So you know, like I said, I would want people to stand for me the same way if something happened to me.
And Jack, you are one that will never let that happen. Just as we are here, nobody's gonna ever kill. KB and what he meant to this game.
Never.
You know, that's just going to be impossible. Because as many haters as there are out there that's going to try to, you know, bring him down, there's so many that love him for what he was able to do on the basketball court. And I mean, and quite frankly, he was one that was misunderstood because, again, everybody just looked at him as a basketball player. You know, they don't realize the type of person that KB was.
And his presence is bigger today now that he's gone than it was when he was here.
Without a doubt.
Last one. Steven Jackson. Legacy, one word.
Persevere. I go with that one.
I like that one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at 18, wasn't even in the league. Came out of school, thinking he gonna be in the NBA, get drafted by things. Wasn't even in the league. You know? You just happened to come to Jersey playing these damn pickup games, and I said, shit.
Got lucky.
And boom, 14 years of NBA and a championship.
Mom, I'm in.
That's perseverance. That's going through it the hard way.
I love that. All right, so what's next for Steven Jackson?
Continue to evolve, man. Continue to be a better friend, better coworker, better owner, better husband, better father, all things. I'm just trying to continue to get better, man. I'm just thankful where my life at. It could be a lot different, you know, especially after basketball. You try to figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, I made a lot of mistakes in my life, but I'm just thankful that I'm able to correct a lot of them, and, you know, continue to grow and be in a space where I'm making money, doing it the right way, not hurting nobody, demeaning nothing, not doing nothing that I regret. I'm just happy where I'm at right now. And I just, you know, I thank it to my team, to Matt and Brian and Jelani. There's people around me. God has been putting me in a lot of great positions of me just treating people the right way and being a solid guy. And I'm reaping the benefits of it now. So I just want to keep it that way.
There you go.
That.
And all those, as you call them, mistakes that you made in the past, all of them made you who you are today. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They gotten you to this particular point. So, you know, God don't make no mistakes.
That's right.
So he wanted to put you through it.
Yes, sir.
Just so you can get to this point.
Yep.
There it is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, from All the Smoke Podcast,
Yes, sir.
our loyal brother, Steven Jackson, on the Byron Scott Fast Break.
Thank you, my brother.
Love y'all, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Byron Scott's Fast Break. If you like what you saw, here's some more videos. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.